Hey guys, this is Blueberry Paul and welcome in my another video. Today, Polish books. Okay, in today's video I decided to show you some of the most famous Polish books and the books that are usually in schools on the subject of Polish language, because Polish language is not only about speaking and also about reading, and Polish literature is a part of these lessons. So I will show you some books. One I have here, it's called Pan Tadeusz and it's by the author Adam Mickiewicz. When we translate this, it will be, I searched for this because I don't know how to translate. So the full title, it will be Sir Thaddeus, or The Last Lithuanian Foray, a Nobleman's Tales from the years of 1811 and 1812 in 12 books of verse. The original title, maybe I will not mention it in Polish because it would take so much time. But okay, the plot takes part in 5 days in 1811 and in 2 days of 1812, and when there were times when Poland and Lithuania were already divided by the armies of Russia, Prussia and Austria. It will be the partitions of Poland as we speak historically, and erase the Poland of the map, political map of the Europe. So that would be Sir Thaddeus, Pan Tadeusz. Okay, another book. I have a lot of books. So maybe this one. It has many pages. When I'm looking right now with the review of the book, because here in Poland there are very popular books like this when you are using in schools. It's from the company Greg, and what is interesting in this, of course, we have the book, and at the end of the book we have the most wanted scenes. I don't know, teachers ask for these scenes, for these characters. We have described all the characters or the plot. So if someone is lazy, he don't have to read this book to pass it. Yes, to pass the test on this book. I'm saying this because some of these books I didn't read, and I'm right now admitting it. And I had a good grade on this book, only basing on this what we have at the end of the book. So okay, we have the book Chłopi by Władysław Stanisław Reymont. This book, when we translate it, and we translate the title, it will be peasants, because mostly the book says about the people living in the country, and especially farmers, yes, and the book is divided into four parts, 4 seasons of the year. So first we have fall, then we have winter, then we have, after many pages of winter, we have spring again. We have spring, and after this we have of course summer. And I'm trying to find this because it's almost 700 pages, so it's not easy to find something in this book. Okay, we have summer. We have summer at the end. So this book tells the story of the peasant Maciej Boryna. And so this peasant, Maciej Boryna, wants to marry Jagna, yes, and she becomes his wife, but she cheats on with his son, and his son is named Antek, and there are many difficult situations about this, and the author thought it would be good to write, I don't know how many pages, almost 700 pages about this. And I don't know what else to tell you about this book because I didn't read it. Because as you see, this book, as we call here, it will be a brick. It's a brick. It's a brick. And if you see this book and you buy this book, I bought this book only for this, to have the review at the end and to put it on my desk when I was on Polish language lessons. And the teacher thought that I read this book. And what is more, I put some cards into it, so I marked the most valuable quotes from this book. The quotes are also at the back, in the back of this book, so you don't have to find them. But okay, what else to tell you about this book? Maybe I will show you only these books and you will know what is Polish literature about, because most of them I didn't read. But I passed all the grades and all the Polish language. When I'm thinking right now, it's really sad that I didn't read this book, and I don't know if I have time right now to read them. But I'm still keeping them. I don't know why I'm keeping them. Okay, maybe another one. I don't know which one. Maybe this one. We were on the country, so another book about the country. It will be Wesele by Stanisław Wyspiański. And this book, when we translate the title, it will be Wedding. And we have really nice folk hats. I think it will be Krakowian. I think Krakowian hat from the. And this book tells the story. I also don't remember the main character's name, but I think it will be. Oh, yes, I know. It will be the groom and the bride, because it's the wedding, so he calls it and the groom. This book is a drama, so it has scenes and acts, and I think this book is a little easier to read. And I read this book. I must say, I read this book because it's interesting, because the man from the city wants to marry a peasant, so it's not a typical situation, especially in the times when the book took place, especially that he is well educated. He finishes studies and he wants to marry a woman. She's not well schooled and she lives in the country. And what's shown in this book is shown the contrast between the country and the city in that times. And I'm trying to find what the time it will be. Oh yes, I see. It will be the night from the 20th to 21st of November 1900. So okay, it will be the 20th century. So we can see how the differences between the city and the country in the beginning of the 20th century looks like. Okay, maybe another book, because it took so much time. Okay, maybe another brick. Here is the brick. It's even thicker than the previous one, the peasants. This one, it's called Potop, and it was written by Henryk Sienkiewicz. And when we translate the title, it will be The Flood. But not actual flood. It has nothing to do with the water. It has something to do. Maybe I translated the title wrong, because it will be Deluge, Swedish Deluge, which took place in the 17th century. and the book tells the story about this. And I must say, the book is the second part of the trilogy, because first one is Ogniem I Mieczem, and the third one is Pan Wołodyjowski. And this is the second part of this trilogy, and it tells the story of this Swedish village. And I don't know what else to say about this, because I didn't read this book, and I don't know why I'm so happy about this, but I got a B on this book. Okay, I think this is the thickest book kids have to read in primary schools, or maybe in high schools in Poland. I don't know if it's still in the required books list, I don't know, but it was when I was in high school. Okay, this book on the shelf, and another one, maybe two more books, okay? I don't know which one to pick. Maybe this one. Syzyfowe prace by Stefan Żeromski. It will be, when we translate the title, it will be Sisyphean tasks. So something you do and it doesn't bring any effects. And this is about this. We talked about partition of Poland, and this book took place in the Russian partition, and it's about school. Yes, you can see the desk and you can see the school. That this took place in the gymnasium, I think, or in a high school, and this city is called Kleryków. This city is called Kleryków. And what's about this Sisyphean tasks? So they tried to force Polish students to only speak Russian and to read Russian literature in that time. And they, in hiding, were reading these books I mentioned before. Yes, maybe not all of them, because some of them were written after this, but they were reading Polish literature and this Sisyphean task. So they tried to persuade them Russian and Russian culture and everything that was Russian, but they didn't give up, and they know they were Poles and they were speaking Polish and reading Polish literature. Sometimes they were punished, and of course they were punished, and they were still reading these Polish books. So that would be this Sisyphean tasks the Russian rules were making. Okay, another book. Maybe this one, and I will say something about it. It will be Lalka by Bolesław Prus, and when we translate it, it will be doll, the doll. And it's also a thick book. And what's about this book? Maybe two main characters. It will be Stanisław Wokulski and Izabela Łęcka. And they are in love, I think, because still I didn't read this book. But I must say, this Saturday in Poland, it will be the National Book Day reading, I think. It's that called when we translate it to English. And this time, because each year it's a different book. So last year I think it was 30 years, and this year it will be this book. It will be Lalka, and it's a thick book, so it's something to read. Maybe it will convince me to read this book this week, but I don't know if I will have time. But okay, this book will be they will be reading. I don't know who will be reading, but because in some year, I don't know, it was this action, social action. The whole Poland reads children, so that will be it. to remember this really nice book, because I hope it's a really nice book. Maybe it's a thick book and that's why I didn't read it. And I must say, when we were reviewing this book on Polish language, I was sick, and I think when I'm sick, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit chance that when I will come back to school, they will finish reviewing this book, and I will don't have to read it. And that happened, and that's why I only bought this book, and I have this book. And it's really nice on my shelf, on my shelf. Okay, and the last book, and about this book I can tell you everything. Okay, this book is called Zemsta by Alexander Fredro. And this book, it's revenge when we translate it. Revenge, and we have an alligator on the cover, and I will say about it. So okay, it's a drama, and it took place in the 18th century, and there are two neighbors. The one is Czesnik, and the second one is Rejent. The first one is really aggressive, it's really impulsive, and the second one is really silent, really maybe not shy, but he is sitting and he didn't do anything. And they have the two halves of castle, and in the middle of the castle it was the wall, and everything goes with this wall, because one of them, the silent one, wants to repair this wall because there is a hole in the wall, and the second one wants to leave the wall in the way they bought it, so with the hole, and it goes with this. And there is another thing. First, of course, two angry neighbors, and the one neighbor has a niece, it's called Clara, and the second one, Rejent, has a son. And they are in love, secretly in love, because these two didn't like each other. I'm talking about neighbors, so they have to keep the love in secret. And in meanwhile, there is also a widow which is living on the side of Czesnik. She is called Podstolina, and Czesnik wants to marry her, but Rejent, the second neighbor, has a secret plan to take her on his side, and he wants to marry his son Wacław, and he wants to pay her 100,000 zlotys. I think there was zlotys in this time. And it didn't go as they supposed to be, because Czesnik find out that what he wants to do, and he secretly give the permission for Clara to marry Wacław, and Rejent didn't know about it. But first of all, he wants to fight with him, and to once and all end this fight about this wall. Who will win? That will have. He would have the chance to decide what to do with the wall. And what about this alligator? Because I mentioned at the beginning, this alligator, it was another person. It was the funniest person of the book. I think it's called Papkin. He is really comic. He is a soldier, I don't know, he dressed like Napoleon, and it's not the Napoleon era already, and he is in love with Clara. Everyone is in love with everybody. So he is in love with Clara, and she gives him three conditions. If he passed three conditions, he could marry her. But the conditions are not easy for him. First one is not to talk for 6 months. And it will be hard for him because he is really talkative, and he wouldn't resist to not say anything. The second condition, it was to eat only bread and water 1 year and 6 days. And also, he maybe is not fat, but he likes to eat something delicious. And it also will be hard. And the third part, third condition, it will be bring the crocodile from the jungle. I don't know from which country, but from as she describes, from the country far away lives this creature, and she wants to see this only for fun, and he is supposed to bring this if he wants to marry her. So that will be the plot of Revenge in the short version. But the book is also not quite thick. I don't know. I think 20 minutes and you can read this book, and what I must say, it's my favorite book because it's the funny book. And what else? In 2002 or 2003, based on this book, it was shown the movie by the great director Andrzej Wajda, and I think that was the time when I started to recognize this book, because I didn't know this book before. And what is more, I read this book before it was neat to read this book, because the book, I think it was, I don't know, in high school, and I read it in elementary school, and I know about this book everything. And what is more, I know every line from this book, and I don't know, I can prove to you, maybe in the I will do another video about this. Someone will pick the scene, someone will pick the first line, and I will try to blind it, of course. I will try to recitate for you some of the lines from this book, so we have an idea for another video. I don't know, maybe not next week, but sometime I will do something like this. So okay, I have some few more books, but I don't know anything about them, so maybe I will show you only, and we will end this, and at the end I will want to say something about other thing. Okay, so another book, it will be not Niemnem by Eliza Orzeszkowa, it will be by the Niemen. It's the river right now in Lithuania, but when the book was written, I think it was in the borders of Poland. So that's why it's mentioned it. Other thing, it will be Ludzie bezdomni by Stefan Żeromski, another book by this author, and it will be Homeless People. And the last book, also by Stefan Żeromski, it will be Przedwiośnie. When we translate it, it will be early spring. That's why the cover is green. Okay, so that will be some of the Polish books. I don't know how many required books for reading are in the schools. I don't know, about 50, I think, for all these classes. Okay, I want to say at the end, I want to say something because probably you waited for another back to school videos, but I must say after this one, after this geography, it didn't go that well as I supposed, and when I tried to do chemistry, it started getting worse than this geography, so I decided myself, because my friends encouraged me to do this chemistry and these other subjects, but no, I won't do this. And instead of that, you probably saw this because I posted it yesterday, I decided to do some short videos. Maybe that they are not that short because they are 300 seconds. It will be 5 minutes in different country. I will be describing 10 things from each country from the magazine I was collecting when I was in elementary school, and they pointed these 10 things, and I will be describing them shortly in one sentence, in two sentences, to be whole 5 minutes of this, and I will show some funny photos from these countries which I will find online. So I think that will be all in today's video. See you next time, see you on Thursday, and for now, have a blueberry day, everyone.